HTTV HD, this is Padmini. Hyderabad is one of the most successful places in India in the terms of real estate. So for this to happen, a lot of aspects are playing the key role. Anyway, today we have with us ASBL Managing Director and CEO Ajitesh. So today we are going to discuss about ASBL Springs project. So let's talk to him. Hello Ajitesh, how are you?
I'm good, Padmini. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
So before talking about the project, let us talk about ASBL. What is ASBL?
So firstly, Padmini, I would like to thank you, for taking this interview. And through you, I would like to, thank all your viewers also.
Pleasure would be mine. Yeah.
So I'll give a little brief introduction about myself,
Sure.
and then what is the journey of ASBL, and then probably talk about the project
Sure.
as well. So a little bit about myself. I did my undergrad in economics in the US with a minor in mathematics. So that was my education background. And as I was growing up, my father was one of the founding members of Ashoka Developers and Builders. It's a company established in 1989. So as I was growing up, I'm very much used to real estate jargon and real estate.
You grew up in this?
Yes, I grew up in this, right? That's actually well said. So from when I used to grow up, right from when I was 7 years old, after my school, I used to go meet my father in the sites, and also I'm very used to this. So that's my, real estate exposure, like growing up. Then I did my undergrad, and after completing my undergrad in the year 2013, I came back to India. And I did my first project under my dad's company called Ashoka Liviano. It's on the, it's in Gachibowli near the ORR. Right. So after doing that, I had a very hands-on experience about the business. What are the exact challenges on site? Right? What do we do to, make sure we do things faster and with great quality? That is when, when we started off, right, I had great intentions to give it off on time with great quality. But as we were doing, I realized that intentions are not sufficient, right? One needs to have intelligence, right? So that's where it's more like a good dialogue also, but intelligence is not sufficient. Intelligence is what is needed. So that got us to thinking, okay, the moment it's about intelligence, then, it's very simple. You need data points, right? More the data, better is your better intelligence you can garner from it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that's how the concept of ASBL started, right? Under ASBL, we wanted to have a very tech-first approach, because unless we can collect large-scale data, we really can't do world-class service. So that's how ASBL started. Then I had sat down with my dad and I was telling about these ideas, and he was also excited, but pretty quickly, he told me that, boss, then if these are your ideas, then you need to have your separate shop. We can't do it under this shop. So that's how ASBL was started. It was started by me and my friend, my partner Anil, who was my first landowner as well. And he comes from IT background as well.
Okay.
So he greatly inspired me, to think about real estate from this perspective. So that's how ASBL was started. We started in the year 2017, and in these 5.5 odd years, we have done close to 9 transactions, 9 projects. One is handover, various are in different stages of development. So currently we are operating across 3 projects, totally equating to around 4.5 million square feet. We are doing ASBL Springs on the east side of the city. We are doing ASBL Spectra in Financial District and ASBL Spire in Kokapet. So that's been our scale of operations. So,
but how is it possible, like east side of the city is the Springs project, right?
Correct.
And west side, the financial
district, yes.
District. How is it possible?
To be very, blunt, I would say technology makes it possible, because if you see east and west, even to travel from our head office here to Springs project, it's 85 kilometers. We can't do it on a regular basis, right? So that's when we had to depend on technology. And right from beginning, we ramped up our tech team. Now we have close to 60-member IT team who develop all our technology in-house. So we are using the concepts of digital twin, right? Wherein you build the entire building virtually also, right? And by using an app as an interface from the front end, our engineers frequently, on a daily basis, right? More frequently to put, so I would say on an hourly basis, they keep updating the data into the system. So our AI system has a total understanding of what has happened in the site so far, and given what has happened, what can even happen in the future.
But how can the labor can understand the exact things?
In the beginning, we also struggled with the same problems, but then we had to we took our approach that we had to make the UI UX very simple. That's where I would like to share an example. We took an inspiration from the traffic signal, right? Nobody needs to have any training with the traffic signal, right? It's very simple, 3-color system. So using that analogy, we developed a similar system where, our laborers are shown where to work on the site. Like for example, if let's say there are 10 plumbing laborers, right? and we have 500 flats. They can't work on all the flats at the same day. They have to choose which amongst the 500. This is what happens on site on a day-to-day manner. They daily go and ask the PM alerts work, okay boss, you go and do in these 10 flats. But using the system already has all this information. We are taking an abstract of this and WhatsApping this information directly to the laborers. And everybody are using WhatsApp these days, and there is great connectivity. Correct. So today our laborers need not wait for the PM or the manager to come and say, boss, you work in this flats. Wherever there is blue for us means ready. Just go in those flats and complete your work and finish with your billing. So that has really helped in gaining productivity by almost 25%. This is where my education also played a great role, because I did my undergrad in economics. So there was a very big component of labor economics where we were taught on
how to deal
and how enhancement in productivity really leads to betterment. So that's how we are using technology. So we are taking it to the last mile person. Right, so that was a very key thing. Amazing. And that's really helping us in our scale. And not just on the engineering side, Padmini, even on the sales side, we are using a lot of technology to better serve our customers.
Can you please elaborate it?
Yeah, like
in the terms of sales.
Yeah. So when we were doing our research and speaking with customers, most often in real estate, right, buyers, there's an element called purchase intent. Why is it that a buyer is buying with you? Right? Is he interested? Is he looking for more of floor plan related information, or a specification related information, or any other information? So using our systems, we are better able to understand, okay, what is it that the buyer is exactly looking for, and give out those particular information much more on demand. So it's much more easier. They feel more transparent, right? And that's been a key element. So that's how I would say technology is playing the center stage of ASBL's growth, and that's how we are able to answer your question in a nutshell. We are able to operate projects across 2 different neighborhoods in the city. Probably we intend to scale nationally, but that's further down the line. Right?
And your target is only for the North Indians? Is it something like that? North
No,
Indians
no.
IT side people? Is it something like that?
No, not at all. We want to serve and cater all customers, right? But having said that, majority of our customers are IT employees or IT service sector employees. But in projects like Springs, where we are seeing, right? There we have typically we are 85% of our customers are ITs. But in Springs, it's around 60% only. So the rest are coming from government services and people from automotive sector.
Right.
And slowly, a lot of the education sector is again a big thing in Pocharam, because a lot of colleges and schools. So people from those sectors. So we want to, serve diverse clientele. That's, and naturally when we service diverse clientele, our intelligence also becomes better, our feedback loops will become better. So yeah, that's what we intend to do.
All right. So let us also talk about the project now. So Springs, live ahead.
Correct.
So please tell about the project.
So I would like to share about the design brief of the project firstly, right? Because most often these are the things which get overlooked. So before we started Springs, we did a thorough research in that area. At that time it was around close to 2019, 2020, that were early days of 2020, and the government had already come up with the LEAP and then the grid policy. So the government were doing their fair share to really uplift the area, and we also wanted to be part of that growth story, contribute to the growth story. So that's when we started looking at the East market. And in our early days of research, let me share some of the examples what we came up with. So when we went to Uppal and Boduppal, Pirzadiguda, the neighborhood, neighboring vicinities, we realized that what we could observe was there's a lot of housing in the standalone format. By standalone format, I mean just a ground plus 5 floor structure or an independent house. And there are some disadvantages with that. Like for example, what we could see was in the evening or in the morning time, generally people do a lot of walking as a form of physical activity and as a social activity also, right? So because they were small buildings, there wasn't any space. So people most often ended up doing it on the streets. And if you actually look at the streets in this area, they're all very narrow, like 30 feet roads, 40 feet roads. So there were, they had like, risk from a traffic standpoint. And the same thing we could observe even with the kids, right? They were also playing on the streets right outside the apartment, and they were playing games like out and shuttle and gully cricket. So we wanted to provide solutions for all of these. And another thing also we could, interestingly, when we did user study, we realized that there's a lot of ambiguity and non-transparency when it comes to maintenance and billing of utilities in a standalone building, because there is no sophisticated metering system. So we wanted to encapsulate all of this into one solution, and that's when we came up with Springs. Some of these problems, how we solved for in Springs, right? So like, walking in our culture is a very physical and a social activity, right? Most of our elders, our parents, they do that at least half an hour, 1 hour a day, and nobody walks alone. They typically walk in groups of 2s and 3s, discussing all sorts of stuff.
Correct.
So in Springs, we have a 0.5 kilometer walking track. So you do 2 rounds, you're done with the kilometer. So that was one very important feature. And then we consulted even some orthopedicians, because walking, say, I've read few reports where it's really causing a lot of strain on your knees. Right, that's why they tell you not to walk on hard surfaces. Then we went one step ahead, and then all our walking tracks are now designed with EPDMS flooring. These are soft cushiony flooring, which are totally fine, which are very soft on your knees. So these are the sort of extra mile what we started. Typically, walking track is a common feature of any gated community. I can't take credit for that. Right, most communities have that, but the concept of having an EPDMS flooring is one of the most unique one. Right?
Then you should definitely admit it.
Yeah. So all of this comes out from a customer-centric approach. See, again, being a very tech-first company, right from the word go, customer was always on our mind. And if you look at any IT product, any tech product development, right, there's a lot of feedback loop which happens. A product is developed, the customer gives feedback, and it keeps on iterating. We have been seeing that in the buildings, that's very, very less. So, and whereas an app, you make it and then you keep changing. But a building once made, for 70 years, you can't do anything.
For lifetime, it is.
For lifetime, right? For at least that particular generation's time is gone. So we came up with the idea of, okay, we need to constantly talk with our customers, collect feedback, what is good,
what they want,
what is possible to give within that, and who are the best consultants to work with. So that's been the approach of the group, and thankfully the customers have been blessing us in that line, and we've got good sales in Springs. We have almost sold out 2/3 of the project. I would say we are happy to contribute to the story of East Hyderabad. Wow. Put it that way.
Beautiful. Can we talk about the flat sizes?
So Padmini, what we are doing with Springs is we are doing a 2 and 3 BHK module, right? We have a 1210 square feet 2 BHK and a 1475, 1500 odd square feet of 3 BHK, right? And I think 60% of our inventory is 2 BHK and 40% is 3 BHK. Totally, we have around 480 units. So it's a fully loaded gated community. It has all sorts of automation and metering when it comes to utilities. See, one of the big element, again, when we spoke with our customers, we realized is one of the big element of living in communities is utility billing and transparency around that. Most often it's around these small things where people end up having quarrels or sort of inconvenience. So it's fully loaded and totally automated gas billing system, water billing system, electrical billing system. So you only pay for what you use. You don't pay for anybody else. So that was it. So in that way it's fully loaded, and it has state-of-the-art facility like CCTV cameras and 24/7 security, which gives them more comfort and convenience. Another thing, because see, most often like you might be working or and then your kid is playing somewhere down, so you want that safety and comfort, right? So that's again taken care of in Springs. So I would say it's a fully loaded gated community. It has state-of-the-art clubhouse. So that's what we want to come up with. See, again, another thing with East Hyderabad, the first large-scale developer who's coming with a full-scale gated community. Now, yes, a lot of other developers are also coming, and we ourselves are coming up with multiple more projects in that area. Right from the beginning also, in our research, we realized that, okay, there is some amount of trust gap between customers and developers. Customers were not very confident on developer timelines. So we wanted to establish these things first. So if you look at Springs project, our committed handovers are in September 24.
So let us also talk about the amenities that you are providing.
See, with respect to Springs, Padmini, again, basis on our research, one is a well-equipped walking track with outdoor gym and indoor gym facilities, because healthcare is something that is very, very important. And another, some of the things we have seen is utilities related. Like, for example, people living in communities, they want supermarket and all of that, all their daily groceries to be done in there. So we are providing a supermarket. That's one thing we're providing. We're providing with all the state-of-the-art kids play area, like sports facilities like a basketball court, shuttle court, and several indoor games and all of that. And cycling tracks where people can just run around. And in fact, another thing what we've been also seeing is that people, when they're staying in communities, they want to have some peaceful place where they can sit, meditate, and so we are even providing a temple in this way, so where people can go and offer their prayers. So that's also we have realized is a very important. See, the physical body and the spiritual body both needs to be taken care. I would put it. So the temple is also a very important part of our communities. We are even providing that. So I would say it's a state-of-the-art, around close to 18 to 20 odd communities is what we are providing.
Let us talk about the location. Where is it exactly?
So this Project Springs, ASBL Springs, is located right beside Infosys Pocharam. So that's and right opposite Singapore Township. So it's approximately 10 to 11 kilometers from the Uppal Metro Station, and around 1.5-2 kilometers from the ORR. So regarding connectivity, I would like to share a few things why I think this area is going to grow. Three major reasons why we invested. What's our reason? Before we sell it to the customer, we as a brand are investing a lot of money there. Why did we do it? We did it because of three reasons. One, improvement in connectivity. So there is a big flyover expressway work which is going on from Uppal Chaurasta, Uppal Junction to almost in the Warangal highway, which is 8.5 kilometer 4-lane flyover, and it is the second biggest after the PVNR expressway. It will greatly reduce the commute time to this vicinity from Uppal to around 10 to 15 minutes. Right. So currently it's something which takes 30-35 minutes. So that really encouraged us to go ahead with this. And second, Infosys biggest all India campus is there in Pocharam, and they are expanding that. If you look, I think in the year 2021 or something, they announced they are adding another 2.5 million square feet more. And few other IT companies are also looking. And this area already has a very good employment from the perspective of education sector. There are a lot of colleges, Anurag College, Srinidhi College, several other colleges surrounded. So we saw that, okay, there's a good, employment base which is coming up, but the quality of housing is not coming up. And another thing, key reason why we chose Pocharam, if you actually look at Uppal, right, and after Uppal there's Pizza, Diguda, Boduppal and these sort of vicinities, there are a lot of lands in smaller sizes available. Like if you look at, because a lot of these land parcels have been plotted out. So the moment you plot out, right, the land size reduced to 200, 250 yards, and no good scale development will come in that. That is the reason a lot of 5-floor buildings come up, because there's not availability of land, and hence consumers cannot have better quality life, better quality product, right? That's where we realize, okay, Pocharam is a vicinity where there's good amount of land, and that's why we are confident of our business also, because much ahead in this, the land availability is also in very smaller sizes. So that's how we see, okay, Pocharam to be a very growing neighborhood and good, we wanted to contribute to the sector. And at the same time, the availability of social infra, like schools, hospitals, malls, all of this, especially schools, they're almost close to 8 to 10 schools, and fees ranging from, almost 75,000 to 2 lakhs, both covering CBSE syllabus to international, IB syllabus. So there is a good bandwidth. So for people to opt, whatever is apt for them. So that was one key factor. And also see, generally in real estate development, right, whenever good quality housing comes, the social infra improves. So it's this way around, not the other way around. Good social infra doesn't come first, and development housing comes first, and then social infra comes next.
Right.
So as more and more communities start coming, we see the social infra seem to become much, much better.
Right. If I ask you, who can afford this flat, means what is your answer?
Our ticket sizes are around 60 to 75 lakh. So 60 lakh being around the 2 BHK, I'm talking all inclusive, maybe plus or minus 1-2 lakhs here and there. And the 3 BHK will cost approximately around 75 lakhs. So that's round about the ticket size.
Then the answer would be the middle class as well.
Yes, this we are totally catering to the the 60 to 75 lakh budget segment, and we want to contribute in that segment also, and that's been a good segment for us. They've been giving good volume and good momentum, and this area has a lot of such demand.
So artificial intelligence is definitely there in the terms of construction, or as you already said.
In our systems, yes.
Let us also talk about the quality of the construction.
See, with regard to quality, right, again, need to be very objective with it, right? Again, when we started doing our research in our early days, with quality, we realized that first we need to make it into an equation. Because the moment it's not an equation, people will have subjective opinions. So we realized that quality, if you make it as a mathematical equation, the parameters are starting designing right. Like for example, I've got one design, right, which is too complicated to execute. Naturally, the quality will be bad, right? And starting the work at the right time. Like for example, I'm supposed to start brickwork, which will take me 10 months, right? But I'm delaying because of other delays. I've started it after 4 months. Then I have to finish the work in 6 months. Naturally, there'll be quality issues.
Definitely.
So right design, right work start time, right, and right inspection. The third layer is inspection is very important. Now, if you look, from our perspective, we are the builder with the highest number of quality workforce deployment, right? In a site like Springs, we have close to, apart from the main engineering team, which is almost around 25 engineers, we have 8 dedicated people only working on quality. So our per SFT quality inspectors is much higher compared to anybody in the city. So that way, after each and every work which is done, the engineer uploads in the app and the quality guy goes, checks it, sees, takes the photos if there's any issue, and then raises a ticket. And there's an entire trajectory which is followed. The ticket needs to be closed and all of that. So inspection is very important. So that's what we are tackling, and then right materials. So, you need to purchase the best materials with good brands, and then that's how quality thing. So just to reiterate, quality is a function of right design, starting the work at the right time,
yeah.
good amount of inspection, and selecting right materials. So with this, we want to give 90% quality. 100%, to be very frank, it's not possible in this industry. I do not want to say something which I can't commit, but 90%, yes, it's possible.
So what are the upcoming projects from ASBL?
Padmini, so upcoming projects, again in Pocharam, we have a lot more land. So post completing Springs, probably we would want to start next phase. That's one thing. And on the west side also, we're looking at launching a new project. So that we might be probably looking at in 3 to 4 months time. But currently in the west, we are handling two projects. ASBL Spire, which is around 400 units approximately, and that's due for handover in November 23. There also we are 2 months ahead of schedule. So mostly we'll be starting handovers in another 3-4 months by September. And ASBL Spectra we are doing, which is 1200 apartments. That's in December 25 handover. That's approximately 25-30% completed. So that's how our, roughly our portfolio mix. And we are a pure play residential developer. We don't do this is our bread and butter. We don't do any other asset class. So all our focus is only on serving the customers in this segment.
Beautiful. You seem very ambitious and very passionate builder. I would definitely love to say this. And what is the ASBL's goal as well?
What I would say, Padmini, the philosophy of ASBL is to give world-class products, with great quality and right within time. So this is what we want to serve. And another important thing is we want to do responsible business. By responsible business, what I would mean is paying our vendors and contractors. That is a supply chain, right? Paying our supply chain on time. So these are the core philosophies. So if you ask me, my ambition is to achieve 100% result in this. How many projects we intend to do? That depends on the market, and that depends on how much the customers bless us. But as a group, we want to stay true to our philosophy of giving world-class products and doing responsible business. So that's how I would put it.
Beautiful. What are you doing to keep your customer updated?
Real estate is one field where you pay now and you get the product later. You go to a restaurant, right? You
Yes,
enjoy
and
the
then
product
you-
and then you pay.
yeah.
So real estate, we have realized, is you pay first, you get it later, and you pay a lot of money. It's not less money, right? Restaurant bills are what, 2,000-3,000, but real estate is 60-70 lakhs, a lot of money. So this was one, again, very important feature. Right from the day one, we wanted to see in the process. So we wanted to understand the customer's anxiety towards this, because they're paying a lot of money, they're paying interest and all of that. And that's where we came up with sharing monthly updates. And all our projects we share every month. We send a crew to the site, capture all the progress at site, and share it with them through YouTube. YouTube is now a very actively used media. So all our customers, see the progress on the YouTube channel. And if they have any queries, they typically end up asking in the comments, and we address it. So sharing progress is very important for us, because we need to take the customer along in the journey. So that's how YouTube is a good platform for that.
Right. Thank you so much, Ajitesh, and all the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Padmini.
Thank you so much. All right, that's all for now. So do you have any other queries and also you want to check the project, then do contact the company. See you in the next venture. Bye-bye.